Welcome to this epic map discovery session. This is the beginning of the end of a sense of searching. The epic map is going to highlight for you some really key distinctions, drivers, what really unlocks your energy, your purpose, your inspiration, and your contribution. So if you have been, like I was, on a journey for purpose, trying to refine your mission so that you feel alive and motivated, trying to clarify your vision for what's next, especially if you've done a lot of personal development training and you've been in the mix of a lot of ideas, modalities, tools, and somewhere in all of that is a coherent, consistent you that's evolving. You're gonna love this. Just yesterday, I was in a cafe in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I'm actually on my way to Scotland, and I sat with an old friend who had done a light epic map a few years ago. And in about 10 minutes, we revealed the next layer of his epic map on a napkin. So this is a very simple process, and it's extremely profound. There's a lot I could say about it, but right now, if you're here, this is meant for you. You might be meant for something more, at least a little bit more clarity and energy and enthusiasm. So let's dive in. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to walk you through a very brief introduction so you have an overview of where we're going. Then I'll ask you two questions that frame the beginning of your epic map. You will reveal from the inside the essence of your greatest fear and greatest achievement, and you'll see how they connect. At the end, I'm going to show you just a few things to answer the question, well, what do I do with this and what's next? Because it's both simple, profound, and you'll recognize it, and it's infinitely applicable to things like your message, if you're a speaker, your marketing, if you're an entrepreneur, the sales process of who you serve, who you care about, and why, and how you showing up in the world is always a both and of your own evolution and your contribution to everyone, even if you're having a bad day. And that's part of what's the fun. So let's share the screen. Take a breath as I do it. This is fundamentally an embodied process. In other words, you can't get this wrong. And even if your mind and your ego and your fear seems to get in the way, it's also revealing what's actually true. So you can't actually get away from your truth here, even if you need a little bit of time to trust it. I learned pretty early on, right, that all roads lead home when we do this process. All roads lead home. I've been doing this now for just about 6 years, and it doesn't change because it's coming from within you. It only deepens and clarifies no matter what information you're drawn to learn about. So this is about your epic map, which is your blueprint for personal activation. This is fundamentally about what you love to be, love to do, which are the things you desire, the things you want at multiple levels, simple levels, practical levels, spiritual levels, material levels. We're really going to cut through so many explanatory systems, so many potential narratives. This is fundamentally about getting you to the place where you can embrace your narratives as they're evolving, and you can really accept your embodied process. Your fears, we're going to shift your perspective a bit about fears so you can embrace them and accept them without getting too heady about, are they shadows, are they wounds? Yes to all of it, and no, perhaps, to some of it. There's a unique relationship. So one of the first lessons I got from discovering this process in late 2014 was, in a way, we're all doing the transformation of fear and love. The real question is, how are you doing it? How have you been doing it already? And whether you believe that you came here for a reason, or you chose to be here, or it's all random, or there's karma, again, no matter your belief system or explanatory system, I think this will cut through for you to see the through line behind it all for you uniquely. The last big insight here for this sort of level 1 of the epic map, there are 3 fundamental levels. We'll just do level 1 right now. I got this on an airplane. I had been invited to come to Boston, actually, from California to present to a group of 60 international high school students who are starting a 6-week business building boot camp. On the plane, I saw this image. Now, I had already been working with part of this because this is what came to me in an extreme rock bottom moment. But on the plane, I saw this WIE. And I recognized as I sat with that this map, this process, a lot of my journey and contribution is to help you find your fit. Trust that you belong. Trust fundamentally that you're meant to be here. And this goes so much to the root of our healing and the root of our sense of separation from the planet, from the earth, from God, from divinity, all of that. And so the I fundamentally, and we'll play with this much more later, holds the space for your personality, your ego, your trials and your errors, your development, your stages of unfolding who you are in the world. So it's all you in the world. And we can use a chakra system, we can use the Enneagram, we can use human design, we can use integral consciousness and spiral dynamics. We can use any framework to look at the sense of who are you in the world. The we has 2 special meanings, and I want to say this now. First, it's just we. It's where do you belong in the we, in the world, with us. Of course you do, in your unique way, without any shoulds and expectations and judgments. It also, I, bridges the gap between your wounds and your enthusiasm. And when you take a perspective of loving your wounds and even letting go of the narrative of wounds to some degree, then what happens is what I call the joke of your wound moves you into the world. So if you imagine this we and this I working together, you and the world working together, the synergy of your contribution to others and the contribution you receive from others, even on a really bad day, is what you're up to, is the bigger game you're really here for. And so the joke of your wound, recognizing that whatever that problem is to some degree, is something you can now get a gift from. Wherever you are in your healing process, any memory, any trauma is potentially something that you can digest, compost into contribution with some level of enthusiasm, which isn't to say it's all smiley and happy, and enthusiasm can take a lot of forms. So what we're really interested in here, before we step into the process, is simply inviting you to the grace of being in the world, to belong where you truly belong, which is always dynamic. It doesn't have a fixed answer. And you getting to be you with all your mistakes and errors and glitches, and letting your inauthenticities be authentic and let them move you into the world. Okay, I could definitely talk about this all day. What's going to happen is you'll discover the essence of your achievements. They'll just hold, bookmark the energy of your achievements. Then you'll discover the essence of your fear. These are 2 very powerful moments, real or imagined, that will frame your bigger game, that frame what actually activates you uniquely to come into the world with courage and creativity. You'll reflect a bit on this relationship. There's a lot of things I can tell you that I've learned, and other people who've done this epic map over the years have learned what they've learned because they bring their own perspective. So this is really an endless conversation about the relationship of these 2, and it's endlessly rewarding for you. So this is what you're going to walk away with right now, this level 1 of the epic map, to see this fundamental hero's journey that is underneath and drives every hero's journey of your life so far, and probably will forever. But with awareness, things shift. Finally, you'll have a statement to play with that's not a forced box. This was one of my challenges with purpose work, was every time I came up with a new purpose statement or a vision statement or a mission statement, it was now dead. It never had a life to it. And so this epic map process for me is a solution that I want to offer you that is a generative approach to relating to your purpose in a way that generates alignment with your mission, clarity with your vision, even when you don't know what the heck is happening and you just need to take the next step. How fun is that? That's what we'll do. I'll ask you the 2 questions. You will connect the dots. You can expect fresh insights and reflections about the impact that you make that leads to inspiration and maybe some clarity about what to let go of. And finally, you'll have a blueprint that activates you uniquely with your courage and your creativity. Are you ready? So all you need is some paper. Again, you can use a napkin and a pen. This is so easy, and we can make this beautiful with art and complexity later. On a piece of paper, write down, what are your greatest achievements? Simply write down your greatest achievements. Anything that come to mind. This happened, this happened, this happened, I did this. Any order is fine and will work. So breathe deeply. Relax your body more, relax your mind more, and write down your greatest achievements. Pause this video if you need more time. So pause now if you need more time. Step 2, look at your list of achievements and mark which one of those is your number 1, your number 2, and your number 3. You cannot do that wrong. Intuitively order them. You're really just looking for which ones have the most life, and you don't need to know why. Just go by feeling. All roads lead home. Pause this video if you need any more time to order them. Take as much time as you want. Pause the video now. Step 3. Now that you've got your number 1 story, we want to expand it, detail it out. As if you are a director of a movie or you're an author of a book, you're going to write out what's the what, the who, the when, the where, the why. What are the details? Let yourself keep feeling the life energy, the expansion in your body, your breathing, as you do this. And the moment you write down one detail, you probably will be flooded by another. So pause the video now and take your time to write down as much as you know you need to about this one fundamental story. Capture the essence of this specific moment with as much detail as you can. Pause the video now, and we'll move to step 4. Step 4, give yourself some distance from your story and reread it. Just look at it. Read those words. Underline any words that really stand out to you, that have a charge, that have an energy. Again, you don't need to know why, you just less grammar, more feeling. And then take those words and draw this circle if you haven't already with the 4 lines. You can rewrite this later so it doesn't have to look great. On the 4 lines, write those most powerful words. At least 4, it can be more than 4, but at least 4, no more than 8. Once you've got those 4, imagine that they are all part of one word and put that one word in the circle. So in a moment, pause the video to take your time to do this. My favorite way to do this is to have the 4 words and then look at the 4 words and relax and let one word, one phrase, one energy just bubble to the surface without any effort. Pause the video now and let the essence of this bubble up. Well done. This is the end of step 1. And right now, to move on, you should have 1 word in a circle and 4 to 8 words on the side. When you look at it, the 1 word, it's almost like the 1 word unfolds into the rest, almost like a small mind map. If you have any doubt at this point, I want you to know 2 things. 1, you can change it later. You can modify it later. 2, I have all the confidence in the world that this won't fundamentally change and you're not wrong, even if you have some doubt. There might be some acceptance of the word and there might be some refinement of the energy. There's a lot more to talk about here, but for now, we just want to lightly put a stake in the ground with this word. Ready for step 2? New sheet of paper. Grab a new sheet of paper. Step 2, what is your greatest fear? Start by taking a breath or 2 or 3 and let your imagination run wild. What's your greatest fear? What words or situations come to mind? Write them down. Pause the video and take as much time as you need to write them down until you feel like what needed to come through has come through. Pause the video now. Step 2, stay feeling this fear. Don't spiritually bypass, don't avoid. I promise to not leave you feeling any of this after we're done. Mark which of those stories, if you have more than one, is number 1, number 2, and number 3. You cannot do this wrong. The biggest story here, the biggest fear, simply has the most pain or the worst energy. It's the one you want to avoid and you want to justify. Whether it's real or imagined, it's the right one. So go with it. Mark down which is 1, which is 2. You don't need to know why. You don't also need to massage that need. Just go with the feeling. Pause the video now until you've ordered your stories. Great work. Stay with it. Step 3 is to expand that number 1 story. So this is the one that if we had the space, the time to have a long conversation, you would say, look, Alex, this sucks. This, I just haven't been able to get over this fear. Oh my God. Tell that story now. Write down the details. It doesn't have to be a grammatically correct story. Capture the essence, the words, the who, the what, the why. Capture anything that just has a charge to you that's part of this. Just dump it out. Pause the video right now until you have dumped out everything that you need to dump out about this fear. You're not trying to change it. You're just trying to capture it. Stop this video now. Great job. Step number 4 is to give yourself some distance, stay feeling, and give yourself the distance to reread those words. You don't have to edit it or make it pretty. Just underline or circle the words that have the most energy to them. Probably the most pain, the most tension, the most contraction. We're not trying to fix it or change it right now. Just capture it. Take those words, draw a circle if you haven't yet, and a few lines next to it. Not that you need the lines if you're just drawing on a napkin. Write those words to the left of the circle. So what are the details of the story that you are distilling? Once you've captured 4 to 8 of those words, take the essence of them, let it bubble to the surface, let it tell you what word to write down in the circle. Pause the video until you have your word in your circle. Now, you've got one word in the circle. It might be 2 words if you're really rebellious. One word in the circle, 4 to 8 keywords on the left. Now let's think about this entire fear word. We're going to relate to it as the left keyword, simple, neutral, just the left keyword. And the previous word is the right keyword. So you've got a right word and a left word. It's not correct. It's not what you should be or anything like that. It's simply left and right. And there's a few reasons why we want to call this left and right. We mostly want to not label it with any meaning. Finally, are you ready for step 3? Last big step. New piece of paper. On the left goes your left word and the supplemental words just next to it. On the right goes the right word with its supplemental words. So write your left word on the left and your right word on the right. Choose 3, and it could be more, of the supplemental words there. Add them next to it. Pause the video until you have completed writing in these 2 circles and lines. Now that you've got words in the circles and supplemental words on the outside, connect them with this spiral. If you haven't yet, connect it with this spiral. I like it to be clockwise. Doesn't have to be, but it would have a different meaning. So for now, do clockwise. And complete this epic flow statement. Who I am is doing the flow and transformation of the left word and the right word. Who I am is doing the flow and the transformation of the left word and the right word. So everybody, I would propose, is doing some version of the transformation and flow of fear and love. You have your words. They might even be fear and love. Some people have, but it's usually not. It's usually something more specific. And once you've got the left word there and the right word there, and you've got your statement, simply take some minutes now and receive it and see the patterns. So pause the video now, come back, but pause the video now to take 1 to 3, maybe more minutes to simply receive and contemplate this pattern and relationship. Pause the video now. Well done. So now you have the first level of your epic map. This is what came to me. This level of clarity came to me. Actually, it's already more detail than first came to me in late 2014 when I was basically crying my heart out on the floor of my apartment in Marin, furious, raging at the joke of the universe that here I was with these gifts in the world and I just could not make a damn thing happen on purpose. And this unlocked a lot. This unlocked a lot that led me to Boston to present, to led me to finally move to Hawaii after 9 years with my wife. It really opened up a lot. And as I shared this with people, it opened up what was next for them and that they had been denying, suppressing, resisting for years. So there's a lot here. In a moment, we're going to wrap this up, but I know there's a big question here. Now what? Now what? What do we do with this? First, here in step 4 on the right of the page, we want to sit with this map and just feel the essence of your gifts and the limitations and the direction. Because if you've got your words here, there's probably a few initial insights that you're having. First, you're just having energy. There's probably a mix of relief and charge and wonder and recognition and remembrance, probably. That's common. There could be some grief and sadness. So locked up in this little battery of energy for you is your unique essence and life force. Every single time that you spend a bit of time with these words and their details, you will get more. Specifically, You're going to get more purpose and power as you dig into the leftward. Because as you embrace and accept and include your fears and the patterns of your fear in the world, in yourself, this is like shamanically reclaiming your power or healing the shadow. And you'll continually reclaim and generate more sense of purpose and power. Power without being powerful over someone. It's an experiment. The more you spend time with the right side word, you'll receive, accept, include, transmute, bliss, and blessing. Your ability to experience joy. Like, we all have upper limits to happiness and joy that we do something to sabotage, which then sends us back towards experiencing the leftward. And then we're in that leftward, we have a rock bottom moment of some form, and it propels us, gives us the energy, the purpose, the clarity, the mission to create or to surrender into the next level of that right side word, which is the expression, the essence of your achievements moving forward. So much here. It's so rich and simple. So the second thing you can do is you can create a shareable version of this map. You can take a picture of your napkin. You can rewrite it. You can do something more fancy. I'll be providing more templates to create this in the future. And third, you can share the map in the Being Epic community. If you can't find your way to the Epic community, let me know. So for now, I'm going to wish you an amazing integration time as you receive the essence of this energy for you that catapults you into enthusiasm. You can start to shift this and to play with this and to consider, well, what is there anything to do, to let go of, to practice? Are there any new priorities? Do you want to explore how to bring this into your marketing, into your money healing, into your marriage and your relationships? Because this limits and creates everything. This is what you, the allness that you are, love to do. This is who you are, is doing this flow and transformation. So ultimately, you're transforming that left word and you're transforming the right word. Sometimes you're transforming the left word into the right word. And by words, I do mean the lived experience. You're always bringing essence into form. This is how you bring essence into form, which is to say, this is how you uniquely manifest. And while there might most likely be much more to learn about how you uniquely create and manifest and make things that matter for yourself, and that you bring your contribution courageously and creatively into the world, this is a fantastic gateway. So this is the end of discovering your epic map. Level 1. There's 2 more levels. This is the beginning of completing your hero's journey. In a sense, we're all seekers, and we have the archetype of the seeker who wanders and searches for enlightenment, for answers. And to a large degree, what we're searching for is the end of separation. And the hero's journey, and the dive into our cave to receive our gifts, to bring it back to the world and the community, is the process of that search. And I would love to have conversations with you because I can spend all day talking about that and working with it, guiding you to dive into it. But this is fundamentally the beginning of the completion of your hero's journey. When is that hero's journey fully complete? When you can look at everything on this map, the supplemental words, the left word, the right word, and you can see the joke in it. The joke is, you've never been wrong. You're not broken. What you love to do is this entire process. And inside of you, you've got stories that express this goodness and this wisdom, and you've got your own edges. And when you look out into the world, the things you care about that matter, that call you forth into action as well as resistance, are fundamentally these energies. There's so many insights. I wish you well, and I want you to share them. I would love to hear your insights as you go along. What's next is living your epic journey, where the world is your evolution playground for your spirit to come alive. Secret, that's what it's been all the time. But we've been living in a story of separation, where this left stuff is wrong, And this right stuff is what we need to feel good about ourselves. And of course, that's never fundamentally going to go away unless we become enlightened. And maybe there's some people who do that. But fundamentally, this bigger game is yours. And it's a game of infinite possibilities. It's an infinite game. So even on a bad day, you're doing what you're here to do. And what if you can have a little bit more flow and effortlessness with that? A little more surrender, a little more relief. Thank you so much for getting clear on your epic map, level 1. It's enough, and you're enough, and you have enough. So enjoy the ride. Reach out to me directly. Let me know how this experience was for you. Share in the Being Epic community and anything else that comes to mind. Thanks for being you, and thanks for being epic.